Hey guys, how's it going? I picked up a little something this past week out of the Copart yard. Little insurance auction sale. Not the Porsche, that's been here. But a little C-Class. This is just for something for a college student. Not very heavily damaged, just a couple of doors. In the auction you couldn't tell, but there's a dent in here and it's messed up all this, so instead of trying to work it out, a local junkyard had a white car, so I got doors for about $65 a piece. So you can't argue with that. So I got the doors. This car has 113,000 miles on it. Needs tires, needs maintenance, caught back up. But something I came up with this was, of course, when I got it, the battery was dead, as they usually are when you get them out of a Copart. Something I had to deal with that I never had to deal with before was when I started the car up. Like usual, in typical German fashion, you got a lot of warning lights. So that doesn't alarm me right away with the German car when you first put power to it. Like the Porsche, it does similar things. You know, you need to turn your wheels lock to lock, and the Porsche actually needs to move about 100 feet before the system goes, oh, okay, my wheel speed sensors are where they should be at, and it gets happy and the lights disappear. The C-Class didn't do that. I had ABS, ESP, BAS lights flashing. And when I would try to turn the lights on, the dash lights would not come on. The headlights would come on, but no parking lights. So I get online and I start doing the research, you know, get on Google and discover a lot of people are talking about the front SAM module being bad in the C-Class. It's a W203. This is a 2002 model. One of the more base models. It's actually got the manual seats, which in a way I kind of like. It's a little bit more of a simple car. So I started looking into that, and sure enough, looks like it was a SAM module. And I even thought about this when I put power to this vehicle. If somebody's not paying attention to what they're doing, you've got a cable over here that's all black. Got another black cable. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing, what if somebody goes and puts crosses the leads when they jump start a car? And that's known to be what a lot of people say is the cause for these SAM modules to go bad, is when people jump start it the wrong way or cross polarity when they jump start it. It's pretty obvious. If you really pay attention, your ground wire is the one attached to the chassis ground. Now also, if you're going to jump the car, they've got this nice little spot here where you can attach a lead that goes to your hot. Then you can put your ground over here when you have your air conditioning vent in place. So, and I'm wondering if, well, my first thought was that maybe somebody at Copart jumped the car off wrong. Because I don't know the quality of worker that you have there. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but I imagine when they're just funneling in tons of cars, sometimes, you know, they're in a hurry. They might not really care what they're doing. A lot of these cars are going to be junked anyway. So that was my first thought. However, what's contradicting to that is that the AC filter was still in place when I got the car. No fingerprints were on it like it had been handled. And usually with Mercedes, when I see them jump the car off, you'll find the AC filter thrown in the trunk, or not even with the car, it's somewhere else because they took it off and they don't put it back on. I mean, they're just operating as quick as they can. So, and over here, in here is your SAM module and your vents, and I'm not going to go into everything as to how that's pulled out. It is a bit of a pain in the ass. I did pull the ECU out first to get a little bit more room to wiggle it out with the windshield wiper arm in the way, and I was able to do it. It took a while. It's kind of like a little origami puzzle. You got to try to figure out how to get the sucker in and out, but it is possible. So I was a little confused, wondering who might have done the cross polarity. It wasn't me. I've got multiple Mercedes. I've never had a SAM module issue before. So, with that being said, with the module out, this is a circuit board. This is the module that was in the car. And you can see a lot of little corrosion that gravity was bringing down because it sits in the car like that. So I know most people probably aren't pulling their boards apart, but on the other side of this board there are a lot of capacitors, and capacitors over time will get old, they'll rupture, they'll leak, and it's an acidic fluid that's in those capacitors, and it will kill circuit boards. So, and that was a lot of my faults were not having voltage, so this might have caused open circuits, shorts, who knows what. I did not have any blown fuses whatsoever. So this could be another reason for SAM modules going out now. It's just age and the circuit board's leaking. So I haven't seen exactly how to pull this off. I've got all the screws undone, but there's more to take this apart, and I just haven't gotten into that yet. I may not. I'm not really that worried about it. But I wanted to post this out there for some people to see what's going on. Now, on another subject with SAM modules, is when you read about them, a lot of people say that they need to be programmed to the car. They got to be flashed to the car, however you want to put it. And then I saw I saw a couple posts where people said that if you get something with the same part number, it should work. I would say yes and no to that, probably. But then when you have the people saying that if you can get one out of a car with the same options yours has, that's the key thing, the same options. That's the key to it. Pre-facelift or facelift cars, stay within that time period. Try to stay with the actual year model if you can. Because I did get a SAM module. I got it out of the same year car. It was actually the same color, same interior color, same options. The car couldn't have been more identical than the one I have, and I got lucky there. And I'm not affiliated with the junkyard I went to. I went to a local junkyard called LKQ. It's a U-Pull-It type junkyard. And the beautiful thing about a SAM module there is it's got a lot of fuses on top of it. It just looks like a fuse block. And that's what they charge you as. I've got my receipt over here. I paid for a SAM module out the door. Well, this is for the individual item without tax. $16.03. And that was with the fuses. You can get it cheaper if we pull all the fuses out and hide them. I didn't want to go screwing around with all the fuses and everything to make sure I put them in the right spot, so I just left everything as it was for a couple dollars. And I put it in. Now when I put the new SAM module in and put power to the car, I still had a bunch of faults. And my thought was, crap, it doesn't work. Now this is where I do have a little bit more equipment than most people have. Not only do I have a CarSoft scanner, which is great. These little things, I travel with this. Anytime I travel in a Mercedes, I travel with a CarSoft scanner. And I've got a CarSoft for the Porsche. And when I travel, actually it stays in a Porsche. I only have one Porsche, so I just leave it in the car. That way as I travel, I know it's with me, and if I need to do anything with it, it's there. But also, I've got a wonderful pirated version of the Mercedes software. I got this off of an eBay user a couple years ago for probably around $1,100, and I've got all the cables, everything from different models. It came in this nice little case. I mean, so I've got the multiplexer, I've got everything I need to hook up to OBD2, OBD1, and I should be able to work on most things up to 2017. I don't think I can program with it. If people think I can, by all means, comment below. I would love to learn more about it. I just haven't had that opportunity yet. But anyway, I had a bunch of faults, and I had Star hooked, or not Star, but Zentry hooked up to it. And at first I just tried to do, I rescanned the car, and I had a lot of faults, like pages worth. So there's an option where you can clear every fault in the car in one shot. So you select that, hit F3, select it. It asks you to turn the ignition off. You turn it back a couple clicks, and you watch the screen. Then it tells you to turn the ignition back on. You turn it back on, and usually it'll say everything is good. This said it couldn't do that. It said it could not clear the front SAM faults. And my heart was sinking, because this is meant to be a cheap car that somebody can basically beat up on, and you know, with it not having a ton of miles, get a lot of service out of it, but not have to worry too much about it. You know, I'm going to put new tires on it and make sure the maintenance is caught up, but it's going to, you know, be in the hands of a college student. I don't want to have to worry about it. But also, I'm not trying to go over budget. It's a salvage car. I'm not trying to put a ton of money into a salvage car. If that's the case, I could go off Craigslist and look at one. So back to the faults I was having. I looked at it and I was feeling kind of bummed. Well, further, so I scrolled down, and like the BAS was listed as a failure, ESP was listed as a failure, shows all kinds of things. Then there was the front SAM. I saw that option. So I went to the front SAM module part, and instead of clearing everything at once, I just went to the SAM module selection and went to clear the faults. And when I refreshed it, the only fault left was for low refrigerant level. Needless to say, I was happy. I went in the car, turned it on. The only fault lights I have now are for the maintenance service needs to be reset in the system, and various lamps. I've got 4 light bulbs that are out on the car. One of them, pretty obvious, is that side marker light. Both of these are out, and a brake light. So I'm going to do the doors today, and that way I can take these cores back, get my core charge back, and then also I'm going to get a few other things. The car came with a key. Came with this key. Now I've got a different insert in it, only so that can be put on a key ring, but I intend on hopefully finding one that's got the key in the car. That way I can take out the lock mechanism. That way it can be opened up if it ever needs to with a dead battery. Because it didn't come with that for whatever reason. I thought that was kind of weird. The key fob has been updated, but there was no mechanical key with it. I just thought I would record this and share this with everybody. And I'll post this on one of the Mercedes websites. Just some things I've discovered with the SAM module for the W203. So if you have different options, yes, I can see where you need it to be programmed for your car. But it is not VIN model specific, and that's what I want to stress. It's not VIN model specific for the SAM module. It's not like you're marrying the key to the ECU. So hopefully this can help somebody out. Maybe you'll freak out a little bit less. You know, when you find out how much SAM modules cost from a dealer, how much this would cost, even at an independent with Star Diagnostics or Zentry or whatever you want to call it. Mercedes software, they're still going to charge you a lot of money because they're not going to be going to the junkyard looking for stuff, usually, unless they've got parts cars laying around. And chances are a SAM module is probably already gone. But every car I looked at, there were 4 C classes in the junkyard I went to. 2 of them had the manual seats in it, and probably would have worked. However, one of the cars had corrosion on the engine block, so it looked like a flood vehicle to me, so I didn't touch it. The car that I got the module out of was actually a running and driving car when it was totaled, and I figured that was the best gamble. So that was the SAM module that I went with. There was another 203 that was pre-facelift, but it had the powers. It had the full power seats with memory, actually, in a C class. So it had more options, so I didn't want to risk that SAM module. But I did take a lot of the fuses and relays. Just why not? It's good to have stuff around. Something else to give tips for, if you're going into LKQ to get parts, if you want to know if it's a runs and drives or find out a little bit of the history on it, most LKQ junkyards I've been to, they leave the sticker from either Copart or IAA on there. I haven't really looked back at IAA auction cars, but I'm very familiar with Copart since I buy from Copart. And the nice thing is you take that number and put it into your Copart app if you have that on your phone, and you can there on the spot find out if it's a runs and drives vehicle, find out the miles that was on the car if they don't have the miles on it at the junkyard. You can get some more information to find out what kind of car you're dealing with before you start pulling parts off of it. So just something else out there to give a tidbit of information on. I've even looked up, when I've looked at their inventory online, which is nice, and seen pictures, looked up the numbers from Copart if the picture is good enough, and found things out. So anyways, I hope this helps somebody out. If you've got questions, maybe I'll do some more videos of this car if you guys want me to. I hopefully will get this uploaded and put this with the Mercedes forum pretty soon to help out. And because what irritates me is when people put stuff on the forums and they scream for help, scream for help, scream for help, and then the thread dies out and you never find out what they did to fix it or what fixed it, period. That gets on my nerves. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.